Mic check. New streaming software. Not sure how this is going to turn out, but we're going to find out today. Let me open this up. Hey, in the bushes. Can you hear me okay? I got some new streaming software up here. I'm trying to start streaming on Facebook at the same time. So let me know if the sound is clear. I want to start bringing. Okay, good, perfect. Yeah, I finally found a software that will let me stream to multiple platforms simultaneously without costing 50 or $60 a month just to do it. um, I was going to cover the press conference this afternoon, but then I changed my mind because I knew everybody would be covering it at that time. So tonight we're just gonna kind of chill out, watch the press conference, um, talk about some of the things, some of the key points in it, and then I have a case I want to share. Um, a 6-year-old found unconscious with his head in the toilet, and he was on life support for like a month. They finally took him off. He passed away, and they charged the parents. They originally charged the parents with something, but now the parents are charged with his death. I was just watching that on another channel, and I think it's a case that maybe we should follow because there are other children involved. There were like 5 or 6 other children in the family, ranging in age from 10 months to 5 years old. So after the press conference, if you want to stick around, I'm going to pull that up and we'll do a couple of the news articles, watch like 2 videos, and we'll just keep our eyes on that one. As a matter of fact, let's do that one first. Okay, this first article is from like a day ago. And we're gonna play the video if it'll let us. Charged with neglect are now charged with murder after their 6-year-old son died. The Ashland County Sheriff says the parents are to blame.
Child abuse she has seen in her 19 years. Dead skin cells from being hurt so badly, just horrible, horrible injuries on all of the children. So 10 months to to 5 years old were the surviving children. The parents of the 6-year-old child, Larry Rhodes and Bianca Blaze, both face murder charges. It started in July when investigators say they got a call for a drowning at a motel on 192. When they got there, the parents said their son was drinking water from the toilet, but investigators say his eyes were swollen. There was blood.
The reason he wasn't breathing was because his parents got very angry because he was drinking out of the toilet, so they started to beat him. First, the mother beat him.
Signs that they
You
had
can
been
hear the
beaten.
video,
All the
right?
kids had bruises, cuts, and marks on their tiny little bodies.
This. Let's try that.
Our breaking news out of Osceola County. A mother and father already charged with neglect are now charged with murder after their 6-year-old son died.
The Osceola County Sheriff says the parents are to blame and that they abused not only that child, but other children as well. West 2's Michelle Meredith joins us live from the Sheriff's Office with more details on this case.
Can you hear the video audio now?
Yes, Michelle.
Well, the parents told investigators that their son went unconscious after drinking water out of a toilet. Well, investigators reached a completely different conclusion, and sadly, they found much more. A veteran detective said it was the worst case of child abuse she has seen in her 19 years. Dead skin cells from being hurt so badly, just horrible, horrible injuries on all of the children. So 10 months to 5 years old were the surviving children. The parents of the 6-year-old child, Larry Rhodes and Bianca Blaze, both face murder charges. It started in July when investigators say they got a call for a drowning at a motel on 192. When they got there, the parents said their son was drinking water from the toilet, but investigators say his eyes were swollen. There was blood.
The reason he wasn't breathing was because his parents got very angry because he was drinking out of the toilet, so they started to beat him. First, the mother beat him. Then the father started repeatedly punching this little boy with a closed fist. He punched him multiple times to the head, to the stomach area, to this little 6-year-old child.
Investigators say the couple had 6 children, that they all slept in the same bed, that they were not attending school, were isolated, were not getting enough food, and that every one of them had signs that they had been beaten.
All the kids had bruises, cuts, and marks on their tiny little bodies. On several of the kids, there was markings that had a distinct pattern. During the investigation, we learned that their parents would send them to the corner of the hotel room and beat them with the bottom of a shoe.
Now, that veteran detective said that each one of these cases take a little chunk out of your heart. Now, we are told that the surviving children are in foster care and that they are doing remarkably well. Live in Osceola County, Michelle Meredith, West 2 News.
That is such a horrible and sad story. I do want to follow this because I want to know what punishment these parents actually end up getting. And hopefully, along the way, we'll get some updates about how the other children are doing, whether or not they're placed for adoption or something like that. Which in this case, it seems like that would be the best option that CPS can pursue is adoption for these children. Like I would hate to see them get split up as siblings since they've always been together and they've been going through whatever it is that they've been going through together. I would hate to see them get split up, but hopefully, if they are adopted out and split up, then the adoptive families will make arrangements for them to still be able to have contact and maintain their relationships. Yeah, that was a horrific story. A very horrific story. So now I want to get to the and again, those parents' names were Larry Rhodes Jr. and Bianca Blaze. So now we want to get to the press conference. Now this one, um, I'm not sure if you're really going to be able to hear it that well because the audio is really low. So if you can't hear it, then what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and end this live and I'll work my little magic on the video sound quality and we'll go over it tomorrow evening. So yeah, it was really low. I had to turn my TV up to like 40 just to hear them.
Solemn. I'm the Public Information Officer for the Placer County Sheriff's Office.
So let me know if you can
I'd first
hear
like to
the press
begin by
conference
thanking
well.
the Rodney Neiman family for being here. Thank you. As you all know, we continue to have local, regional, state, and federal agencies assisting us in the search for Kylie Rodney. This is day 6 of the search, and to date, we have dedicated over 9,000 hours and over 900 tips have been received related to the search for Kylie. We'd like to mention that the Tahoe Truckee community has been extremely helpful to us during our search and our investigation, but we'd like to encourage everybody to please continue to notify the Sheriff's Office anytime you feel like you have a tip or any information that may help lead us to Kylie. It's recently come to our attention and we have received several reports of adults trying to discourage people and possibly teens from coming forward with information that could help us locate Kylie. So we'd like to remind everybody again, our interest is in not arresting any individuals, prosecuting any individuals, or holding them accountable for any underage drinking or illicit drug activity that did occur, that we know occurred at the Prosser Family Campground Friday evening. Our sole purpose in this investigation and search is to bring Kylie home to her family, and we need the community's help. We're here to support the community. As we mentioned earlier, we have set up an online portal where people can submit photos and videos that they believe may help lead us to Kylie. That service and that option is anonymous. You don't have to enter your phone number and you don't have to enter your email address or your name. This is a strictly confidential, anonymous way for us to receive photos and videos from the Prosser Family Campground party that may assist us in locating Kylie and her vehicle. In addition to that, we want to remind everybody that we have an online email portal set up and our tip line. All of this information can be found on our social media accounts in our latest press release that went out just a few hours ago. We've created a link tree to condense all of the options available to the community and the public who would like to help us with any tips or leads that they may have. Again, we'd like to thank you for continuing the coverage in our search and efforts to locate Kylie. And again, we'd like to thank the Rodney Neiman family for being here.
I think it's interesting that she said there are adults who are preventing these kids from coming forward and telling anything. And so I have to wonder, are these adults the parents? Are these adults the ones who were at the party providing illicit drugs? um, or if these adults that they refer to are actually some of the kids involved, because this was a graduation celebration. So some of these kids are technically adults because they're 18 or 19 years old. So I have to wonder which set of adults they were talking about.
We'll open it up for questions.
Or a combination
Of
of the
the
three.
900 tips that you've received, are they mostly from this area? How far out would they be from if they're from out of this area?
We've received tips from across the country, and we continue to. And at this point, our detectives are not discounting anything. Every possibility, every option is being explored currently as we continue to try to learn where Kylie may be and where her vehicle is located.
Have the tips slowed down at all 6 days later, or are they still coming in at a steady rate?
No, tips have not slowed down. We have tips pouring in every hour, and we have all of our detectives rapidly looking through each and every single one of them and trying to exhaust each and every single lead. Unfortunately, most leads have not panned out and have not been fruitful, but we are not discouraged. And again, we're really urging anybody in this community and beyond who may have been at this party to please, if they have video or photos from this party, to please upload them to our anonymous online portal. We are very interested in seeing these photos and videos.
Now that's an interesting tool that they're using, this anonymous online where you can upload pictures and videos. It's not something I've ever seen done in any other case where you can anonymously submit photo and video evidence for a case. I'm sure that it's possible it's been used before because, I mean, they're doing it, so someone probably did it before, but I think that's a very unique tool that's being used, and I would really love to see something like that used in more cases.
Videos.
And you're saying that some people may have been persuading maybe students or young teens to not come forward in fear of some sort of consequences. Can you explain that dynamic a little bit?
So we've received reports from adults around the community who we understand are dissuading people from coming forward. And that impedes our investigation. We want to find Kylie. We want to bring Kylie home to her family. And if people are out there telling people who may have valuable information to not come forward, that's an issue. Again, we're not here to arrest anybody and hold them accountable for underage drinking and drug usage. That's not our interest right now. That won't be our interest in this case. Our sole mission is to bring Kylie home to her family, and that's what we want everybody to understand. We've been saying this from day one. It's now day 6.
Are those adults going to?
I think if they're truly not interested in prosecuting anyone for underage drinking or providing drugs or alcohol at this party, then they should publicly announce that they're offering across the board immunity for those types of crimes that may have happened at this party so that people can feel more comfortable in coming forward, knowing for sure that this isn't going to come back to bite me in a couple of weeks or a couple of months.
Be held accountable for impeding within the information being brought to you?
Potentially, if we can prove that this is actually happening. Remember, these are just reports that we're receiving. If there is solid evidence, we'll have to pursue it. That's also our job. But again, right now, our sole focus and our only focus is to bring Kylie home.
Are those reports coming out of our community?
Yes.
Within the North Lake Tahoe Truckee area?
Yes.
Thank you.
As far as search efforts or maybe interviews that you guys have conducted from yesterday to today, has anything new panned out or new information to share?
There's no new information to share, but we will say that each day our detectives and our search and rescue crews do continue to search different areas, and they continue to interview new people, and they continue to develop new leads that need to be followed up on. And one thing that I think I'd like to clarify is that our detectives cannot debunk or not confirm any type of lead within minutes, right? So I can't debunk a lead and say, oh, this is false information in 5-10 minutes. Some of these leads take days to thoroughly investigate, and that's what we're doing. That's what we've been doing from the first day of the search, thoroughly searching and thoroughly investigating. So this is a very complex process, and again, we're looking for the community's help to help lead us to Kylie.
Yesterday, I think one of the officials, they described this situation as looking for a needle in a haystack, but we don't know where the haystack is.
Right.
Is that still the case?
That is still the case. We wish it weren't. Are there any more questions?
There's the report of the couple that went missing on their way home from hot August nights in Reno. The search effort to find them, will that be taking resources away from this search effort?
I'm going to let Lieutenant Perry from the Nevada County Sheriff's Office answer that.
Hi, I'm Lieutenant Perry. I'm the Investigations Lieutenant for Nevada County Sheriff's Office. We did have to pull one detective today for that investigation, as well as some of our investigative efforts down the hill to look into that. And we're currently working hand in hand with the Yuba City Police Department on that investigation.
Thank you so much. This concludes the press conference.
So that was a pretty short press conference. Nothing really new information coming out other than that there's possibly adults trying to keep these kids from talking about whatever happened at this party. I'm just finding so many inconsistencies in like the storylines and things that are kind of just bothering me about the whole thing. Um, I mean, and I guess Sammy is probably like one of the main thing that bothers me because when she did the interview with All American Dream Chaser, I really didn't like the way she trailed off in some areas as if she were catching herself saying something that in her mind she shouldn't say or something that might look incriminating against her or other people or something along those lines because she seems to be a very well spoken young lady. She seems to know her mind and have her thoughts together to where she can express herself without getting kind of lost in the blaze. You know, that's me. That's my type of thing. I talk and get lost because I'm thinking 100,000 thoughts at the same time. But oh, hi, hot mess. Welcome to the chat. I saw that you recently subscribed. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. I hope you'll stick around. Um, but yeah, I'm having a hard time with Sammy. And then so Sammy says that Kylie was single and she didn't have a boyfriend and there was no ex-boyfriend at the party. But then you have Jagger coming up saying he's her boyfriend. Now he's going back and saying he's not her boyfriend, he's her ex-boyfriend. So is he the ex-boyfriend that may or may not have been at the party? It's just a bit much. You know, it's like it kind of gives me the feeling of a bunch of people trying to CYA. Hold on a second. I'm so sorry. I have had the worst heartburn for like the last 3 days, and I cannot get rid of it. I'm gonna go get some baking soda tomorrow if it still lasts, because this is annoying. Um, but yeah, this case is. I think it's gonna have a very surprising ending. And one thing I would like to know if anybody has any information on that 911 audio that came out about the young lady driving the silver truck that matched Kylie's, uh, something about a gated community or whatever. If you have any information on that, I would really like it. I know that they've already said that that was not true. It wasn't related to her, but I want to know if it was an actual incident or if it was just some like somebody did a fake police radio thing, you know. Then there was another report of a young lady, a topless young lady running down the street, running from a silver CRV and then being taken into the CRV. I want some information on that if anyone can find it before I do. Um, I know that these two things have been debunked, but I just personally want to get a little more information about them because I'm just like that. I'm just nosy. I want to know, I want to know where it came from so that I can kind of understand why it came from there. Uh, Kylie, there's also rumors that maybe she drove into water. And it's easy to believe that if she was as wasted as everyone says that she was, that she could have. However, they've had dive teams out there, and the dive teams so far have not found anything. Uh, Maybe they just haven't found anything yet. I'm curious as to whether her car was new enough to have GPS that could be tracked. Um, did it have OnStar? Because even if you have OnStar and it's not activated, I think you can still pull information from it. Uh, that might be helpful. It's bothering me the fact that her phone is just suddenly not pinging, especially if she had an iPhone, because those phones, even if they're off, there are ways to get locations and pings and stuff from phones, which is and that's one of the reasons a lot of people don't like the newer phones that have the built-in battery that you can't take out, because even if it's powered off, there are ways to actually pull information from the device. I remember a few years ago there was a big to do about how the FBI, they were running some operation and they were able to actually, when people turned their phones off, they were able to power on the cameras and mics on the phones to collect information. So there are ways to pull information from these phones even if they're powered down. The fact that her phone is uh not giving any signal makes me wonder, where is the phone? Is it in water deep enough to keep it from pinging? And then there are also other possibilities, kind of far fetched. Like, I doubt anyone went to the trouble of putting the phone into a Faraday bag, but I mean, there are also other ways to keep a phone from. Hey, Local Mai, welcome to the chat. There are also other ways to keep a phone signal from being accessed. So that phone is really, uh, it's just really sticking out like a sore thumb to me. There's no way that there shouldn't be a ping on that phone somewhere. A phone, a car, and a young lady don't just vanish into thin air. The car, by it not being found, in my thoughts, the it's gonna be underwater. It's gonna be tucked away somewhere in someone's garage or in their backyard with a car cover on it, or maybe sent to a chop shop. However, based on the type of community that they're in, I doubt if it was sent to a chop shop. It's probably just hidden. So I'm going to keep following this case. I kind of wasn't going to because everybody's covering it, and I kind of like to cover the cases that people aren't really talking about. But this one is so intriguing that I am going to, hey, Red Rock, I'm going to cover it anyway, just for my own curiosity's sake. I really hope that this young lady is found safe and alive, but we're looking at 6 and going into the 7th day that she's been missing. So every day that passes is another day that it doesn't look quite so good. Hey, PJ. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to start doing a little research. I got to get these videos ready for Sunday and Monday, the Missing Melanin and Missing Pensacola series that I started. And so I'm about to go and find some MMIs and MMIWs, dig up a few more cases from Pensacola. And the Missing Pensacola series, I think you guys are going to like that, because I actually probably should have called it like Missing City, because I'm going to be moving away from Pensacola to other cities as well eventually. So we're just going to get some names and faces out there. I will see you guys tomorrow evening. We will do missing posters. And if there are any uh, case updates that come in about Kylie's case or any of the other cases that we followed, Bakersfield phone call. I am setting that for next Thursday in the daytime, like uh, before noon Bakersfield time, so that I can try to catch a detective in the office before they get moving around for the day. So that will be next Thursday. We're going to make that call to Bakersfield. I have some questions I want to ask. If you guys want to go to my community wall and add some questions for Bakersfield, I made that post about, I think today will be 4 days ago. And I've got like it's like seven, I think, questions that I really want to ask them over the phone. And if there are any questions that you think you may want to know or that I missed, go ahead and add them in the comment section, and I will definitely ask those questions. I want to do the phone call live. Now that I got this new setup, I think I can do it live, and you guys can hear both sides of the conversation. What I will do is sometime next week we're gonna do a test drive just to make sure that everything can be heard from both ends of the conversation, so that way we know for a fact we are all set for next Thursday. Um, Yes, I have a community wall. I'm so happy. That thing is so useful. I love it. I love it. Um, so let me get out of here. Let me get a little rest and get to working on the things that I am working on. And I am just so happy to have all of you here following and commenting in the chats, commenting and liking the videos. I really do appreciate it. So just hang in there. It just gets better with time. Good night, folks, and I love y'all.